Hello friends, so today we are going to talk about computing and ethics, that is chapter number 10 of class 9th Icse. So basically this entire chapter contains about the different types of crimes or the piracy or different type of illegal activities which happens, and they are some of the disadvantages which are ought to come with the fruitful advantages of the enhancement of the IT industries or the IT sectors. So basically in the first part or in the introduction, it is like introduced that IT is becoming powerful and we are now living a very like enhanced and a technologically advanced civilization. But the fact is that not only we are not only witnessing the positive outcomes of all these kind of things, but also the negative part or the disadvantages. Many people become a victim of this because of lack of awareness and others. So seeing a practical perspective also, this chapter is important. So how computing is related to ethics? First of all, ethics are the basically moral values or the guidelines which protect someone's intellectual property, someone's privacy, cybersecurity, digital responsibilities, etc. So basically, this entire chapter contains those portions itself. Now, first is ethical issues in computing. What are the ethical issues? Now, first of all, there is a definition of ethics, that is, the ethical responsibility are known as computer ethics. So, in the entire information technology, whatever ethical responsibilities that come with all these kind of things are known as computer ethics, which regulate the use of computer. Some common issues of computer ethics include intellectual property right. Obviously, like any kind of video or if somebody makes and then they are like taken out, some clips are being taken out, or maybe the entire video or maybe any movie is there and people are taking clips from that movie or maybe the entire movie. So until and unless all these things are not allowed by the owner or the person has like the permission to do all these kind of things, as per the computer ethics it is illegal. For example, it is easy to make a duplicate copy of electronic digital content, but computer ethics would suggest that it is wrong to do so without the appropriate approval. So you must have a appropriate approval before doing any such kind of copywriting or anything. Thus it is essential to follow certain ethical values. Now here we will be seeing that how basically, so some of the following ethical values are necessary to foster good relations. Like all these things basically जो important है वो इसमें से कुछ 3-4 points याद कर लेना. Those are mainly important because it might come for 1 or 2 marks that write some of the responsibilities of a person whenever they are working in a computer lab or something. So you know all the basic kind of thing that you must not remove or move any kind of peripherals unnecessarily from the computer lab, or maybe install or uninstall any app without prior permission, or maybe opening some secret information on the computer, or maybe copying something or using proprietary software for which you have not paid, because there are certain softwares that you get for free or maybe at a cheap price, and we basically try to use that instead of the original one, but those are all pirated kind of apps or softwares which are not legally allowed to be used, and according to computer ethics those are wrong. So you can read all those kind of 6-7 points which is mentioned over here. Now comes the intellectual property right, which is important. So what are the keywords? Basically intellectual property basically means about the ownership of ideas. Which person owns that idea or have created that idea, or whom is that first handed? That should not be second handed, but the person who have thought about that creative idea, that is the owner of that idea, and basically intellectual property talk about that ownership only. So the ownership of ideas which is created by using the skills and mental ability of a person. The development of a software mainly requires the mental ability of creating first hand knowledge. तो कोई कॉपी ना करे इसकी वजह से जो फर्स्ट हैंड नॉलेज होता है, दैट इज बेसिकली इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट विच इज यूनिक. The software program that is originally developed by the persons becomes the intellectual property of the developer. Now, there are certain properties under this as well, like software patents. So the patent right, that is the person who have created, the programmer or the creator has the right to restrict the freedom of copying, use, distribution or modification of published information. Suppose if you have created a software and you do not want the other person to copy it or to distribute it without paying certain money by every other user on every other device, so basically you have to put that restrictions and you are allowed to do that. Okay, so the other person would not be able to manipulate that data or to distribute it without your permission or without the payment or fulfilling certain conditions. Then comes software copyright. So first is that you have the right to stop that person from copying, use and distribution or modification of the data. Now, copyright prohibits the users of the software program from making copies without the permission of the person. So if anything in any important document or video, and if somebody is going to copy that, that is also wrong under the computer ethics. And the trademark part. Obviously, we have all seen certain companies like Starbucks getting a huge fan following due to its trademark. And the product is not as famous as the trademark because of the like the cup, and the trademark has become more important and more like rich kind of a sense in the society rather than the product, which is the maybe coffee or anything, rather than the product. Okay, so the trademark is like the identity to preserve a software. Nobody can use that trademark again in any other like company or any other product, the same trademark, to copy anything. So that trademark has become the identity of that particular product, and this works very brilliantly. Then the data protection on the internet. So there are a lot of data in the internet. Now a huge concern for the owners or the sharers who are sharing the data is basically to protect the data from people who may use it wrongly. So basically there is a act which came out in 1998 regarding the Data Protection Act, which plays an important role in taking care of users and protecting their personal information. And the main threat to your data is from the different viruses which may enter in your data through emails or while accessing unwanted websites. So while you are scrolling through any website or something, you may get certain unwanted websites which may contain certain viruses which may harm your data. Now, a major problem is to protect the data which is coming through the internet. Thus, we must take care of the following points. So data itself, like the internet itself, is becoming kind of a virus hub kind of a thing which may provide you with certain viruses, maybe by opening some malicious or unwanted PDFs or websites or clicking on certain links or messages. So certain points should be remembered to protect your data from all these kind of thing is to not disclose your password to your friends. They may open different websites and misuse your account. So there are certain websites which may let people who know your password to enter and misuse your account. So it's better not to tell your passwords openly in public or with persons you may not trust very much. Okay. Do not download unwanted software, free software kind of a thing from the web. It may corrupt your system. So sometimes just for taking some cheap softwares or unwanted software or free softwares, we often tend to click on softwares which may not be very good for our system or data. So we must avoid it as much as possible. Sometimes you may come across some unwanted emails which offer you different schemes or free gifts, but you should not get into it. You should remember, why would somebody offer you free gifts? Okay, so there must be a purpose behind it. So that is why do not click on such unwanted emails or links if you get it. Then it is advised that you should install high quality antivirus programs or signatory antivirus of a reputed company in your computer to protect against viruses. Even antiviruses are pirated. So you must take it from a reputed company and then you must use it in your computer to protect your computer from unwanted viruses or anything like that. So antivirus should be installed in your software. Spams. Now spams are something we are most aware about, like the unwanted messages which may enter your mailbox or chat box. Those all things are spam. Okay, so they might be very attractive, asking you to basically very attractive titles of free gifts or any kind of schemes which may enter your chat box, but then you must not click on it unnecessarily. Now the ways to stop spam. So basically we know that spam can cause serious problems to our system. So installing a good antivirus software like filters in our computer system and some useful filters like spam attack and spam hater, etc., would basically help to stop all those kind of spam from happening. So there is kind of antivirus kind of a system for spams as well. And nowadays many softwares are also like telling you like if any calls come or any messages come, they warn you that it might be a spam. So all those kind of thing. So just remember the examples because that might come in your examination. And remember the ways to protect, that is by installing a good antivirus software. For example, this and this, which may protect your system from getting any kind of spam. Now the software piracy. So not only the softwares are pirated, even videos, books are pirated. So many people tend to copy something or tend to copy any kind of software or any book directly from anyone's own creation, which also affects the intellectual property right of the patent or the programmer or the developer. And at the same time, it's illegal as per the computer ethics. So software piracy means illegal copying, reproduction, distribution, or use of software. It is also defined as the act of stealing software that is legally protected. So all those kind of software which is legally protected, if someone tries to steal those material, those information, and then use it for commercial purposes, that is what is wrong until you have an appropriate license or any kind of allowance or permission from the converter, or not converter, basically the programmer or the owner. So we must keep a check on making duplicate copies of the original software and using it illegally. So this should not be promoted. And however, even though many users know that a pirated software has no reliability, they often tend to take it because of the cheap price, because often the pirated softwares come at a much cheaper price than the original ones. So that is the reason they take it, although knowing that they are not much reliable. Then see that the pirated softwares are. So any kind of piracy, whether it's deliberated or unintentional, no matter what, but it is obviously punishable by law and illegal. Piracy comes in many forms, like the licensed user duplication for unlicensed user. So sometimes what happens that a person, suppose in an office, who is licensed to take that particular software, then shares or basically distribute it or copy that particular software to another person who is not having the license or the right to take it or use it. That is copywriting. Now again, both the things are related, whether it's piracy or copywriting. So copying the same software and distributing it among your friends is also a part of this piracy only. Secondly, the illegal internet distribution. That is when you order a software over the internet, then make sure that it is ordered from an authorized distributors. So whenever you take any kind of software from any distributor, then we must be knowing that that person is a legal kind of a person or an authorized distributor, not any random person, because they might provide you with the copied product or the copied softwares also. So always buy your software from a reputed organization in that case, and when in doubt you can contact through email for guidance. तो email से हम लोग like guide कर सकते हैं, but at the same time we must always take any kind of software from a authorized or a reputed organization. Then make sure that your software comes with a license agreement, which is original disk, and also the authentic packaging which is there. If the packaging is not authentic or the disk is not original, then the disk is not original, it might be an indication that that particular product or software is not reliable or maybe copied or pirated. So basically avoid buying any multiple software titles from different publishers on a single disk. It might be harmful or those softwares might be pirated. If the seller provides a serial number which is other than the serial number which is mentioned on the package, these things are also an indication of piracy. तो ये सब बेसिकली सॉफ्टवेयर, तो बेसिकली ज़्यादा घुसना तो नहीं है हम लोगों को इन टॉपिक्स पे कि सीरियल नंबर क्या होता है या फिर ये सब क्या होता है या ठीक है, बस ये सब जो है इंपॉर्टेंट है एंड यू मस्ट रिमेंबर दीज थिंग्स। एग्जाम के लिए तो ठीक है, बट ऐसे भी नॉर्मली अगर कोई सॉफ्टवेयर लेता है तो उसको ये सब चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए। इसके बाद है साइबर क्राइम। साइबर क्राइम भी एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है। तो बेसिकली साइबर क्राइम ऑनलाइन क्राइम है जिसको कंप्यूटर्स के थ्रू किया जाता है इंटरनेट पे। बेसिकली यहाँ पे पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन को स्टील करके, वो चाहे पासवर्ड हो, क्रेडिट कार्ड नंबर्स हो, कुछ भी बैंक अकाउंट का पासवर्ड हो, कुछ भी हो, यहाँ उन चीज़ों को स्टील करके उनका गलत इस्तेमाल करना साइबर क्राइमिंग है। तो जैसे कि हम लोग बहुत बार सुनते हैं OTP की वजह से बहुत लाइक कोई गलत इंसान के पास अगर OTP चला गया एंड देन दे मिस यूज इट, डेफिनेटली इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ साइबर क्राइमिंग। Then, in addition to cyber criming, there is also computer-supported crime, which refers to the usage of computer by criminals for communication and documentation as well as data storage. So sometimes what happens, people kind of hack your computer system or anything, and they use all and they communicate with you or maybe through your computers to different people for gathering and even for data storage. That is also a part of cyber crime. तो हालांकि इंटरनेट काफ़ी यूज़फुल है, बट इस तरीके से डाटा को शेयर करना कि वो गलत हाथों में चले जाए या उसके बाद हम लोग को कोई डिसएडवांटेजेस सहना पड़े, इसीलिए वी शुड बी वेरी अवेयर अबाउट ऑल दीस काइंड ऑफ थिंग। अब देखो, कुछ रीजंस होते हैं और कुछ मेथड्स होते हैं जिससे हम लोग बच सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे साइबर क्राइमिंग बहुत बड़ा इशू है, इसीलिए इसके रीजंस के बारे में हम लोग को पढ़ना है और साइबर क्रिमिनल्स कैसे कैसे बनते हैं। जैसे कि अभी हम लोग जस्ट देखे पायरेटेड में भी 2 तरीके के क्रिमिनल्स हो सकते हैं, वैसे ही साइबर क्राइमिंग में भी एक होते हैं ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैकर्स, जो कि ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से काम करते हैं। बहुत सारे लोगों का एक ग्रुप होता है, वो लोग साथ में किसी एक ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए काम करते हैं, सच एज पॉलिटिकल बायस, फंडामेंटलिज्म एक्सेट्रा। प्रोफेशनल हैकर्स या क्रैकर्स वो लोग होते हैं जो कि बेसिकली मोस्टली एम्प्लॉयड होते हैं किसी बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के द्वारा, ताकि वो वेबसाइट्स, उनके जो दुश्मन है या जो कॉम्पिटिटर हैं, उनको उनके वेबसाइट्स को हैक कर सके एंड वहाँ से इन्फॉर्मेशन निकाल सकें। इसके बाद होते हैं डिसकंटेंट एम्प्लॉयज़, दैट इज़ वो लोग जो कि बीइंग सैक्ड बाय द एम्प्लॉयज़ और आर डिससेटिस्फाइड विद देयर एम्प्लॉयर्स। तो जो एम्प्लॉयर्स हैं उनसे डिससेटिस्फाइड है या एम्प्लॉयर्स ने उनको निकाल दिया है जॉब से, तो उनका जो गुस्सा होता है बेसिकली उन सब कारणों की वजह से भी जो टेंडेंसी होता है एक नॉर्मल ह्यूमन ब्रेन का टू बेसिकली इंटरप्ट द नॉर्मल वर्क ऑफ देयर एम्प्लॉयर्स, बिकॉज दे आर वेल अवेयर अबाउट द इन्फॉर्मेशन एज वेल, एंड इवन इफ दे आर नॉट, दे आर हैकर्स, so definitely they know how to get into their data and kind of hack their websites. So the discontent employees जो कि खुश नहीं है अपने एम्प्लॉयर से, they also tend to do these kind of thing. अब देखो रीजंस मेनली क्या हो सकता है, वो दुश्मनी हो सकता है, राइवलरी हो सकता है, जैसे कि हम लोग यहाँ पे भी देखे 2 रीजंस। इसके अलावा बहुत बार अपने खुद की प्रॉफिट्स वगैरह के लिए भी। सो कंप्यूटर का एक यूनिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है कि वो डाटा को स्टोर करते जाता है बहुत कम स्पेसेस पे। तो ये दिस मेक्स इट ईजियर टू रिमूव और डिराइव इन्फॉर्मेशन आइदर थ्रू फिजिकल और वर्चुअल मीडिया। तो जो भी है फिजिकल वर्चुअल मीडिया, जो भी वहाँ से इन्फॉर्मेशन लेके उसको काइंड ऑफ कंप्रेस करते जाना और बहुत ही छोटे जगह पे उसको स्टोर करते जाना, दैट इज अ वेरी इम्पैक्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज, एंड देन टू टेक वैल्यूएबल फाइल्स फ्रॉम देयर कंपनी और मे बी some important data which might, if leaked, the company would be just gone, or in any case, not only when 2 companies are like against each other, but even in other cases. Thrill and excitement. So people even think that these kind of hacking and all are actually काफ़ी exciting होता है, and that is the reason they try to do this without even having a purpose behind it. So some people are not psychologically well, and that is also another reason they often try to do such kind of anti-social activities without knowing its consequences. For knowledge and experiment as well, people who are intellectual and they try to do all these kind of thing, although their works are destructive in nature, these people are intellectuals because they know about the computer software very well. So even for like experimentation or knowledge, they do all these kind of things. Malicious intent and malicious code are basically a new threat that cannot be blocked by using any kind of antivirus. So you cannot block or stop it from entering your computer system through any kind of antivirus, but if it entered, it can be potentially damaging and threatening for your computer system. So basically it can come anytime while you're working on email, web surfing, or maybe downloading any kind of documents that are not authorized or which are not very safe. The web may contain any kind of viruses or these kind of codes which may enter your computer system after you open it. So that is why you should be very cautious and aware, because often when malicious code enters people's computer software, they are not aware about all these kind of things, and that is why it becomes too late to realize that it's actually something happening in your computer. Then protection against malicious intent and malicious codes. So how can you protect your computer from all these kind of things? So obviously, although antivirus are not very successful in it, still you can use high quality antivirus to basically protect your computer system. If you start downloading any kind of software or app and you find that it can be malicious, stop downloading immediately. You should avoid the use of any kind of pirated software, and that is the reason you should buy it from an authorized place with proper authentic packaging. You should also avoid using memory cards and pen drives of other people, and even if you do it, then scan it properly and then use it for safety measures. And if you find any kind of email coming from unknown sources, then do not open, rather delete it from your computer system. So this all these kind of things are not only important for your exam perspective. Definitely the definitions, the examples, and the prevention measures are important for your examination perspective, but also for your real life, as we people use a lot of phone and other computer systems. So it's important that in this world of continuously increasing cyber crimes or all these kind of viruses, we should be aware and should take essential steps. So this was for this chapter. If you like the explanation, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share it to your friends, and you can comment down any other query or preferences, like any other questions if you have. जाना और बहुत ही छोटे जगह पे उसको स्टोर करते जाना, दैट इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड एफिशिएंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ अ कंप्यूटर. ठीक है, तो ये एक रीज़न हो सकता है साइबर क्राइमिंग का, क्योंकि लोग इसी इन्फॉर्मेशन को ढूंढना चाहते हैं एंड दे फाइंड इट आउट. देन प्रॉब्लम्स आर फेस्ड वाइल गार्डिंग अ कंप्यूटर सिस्टम फ्रॉम अनऑथराइज्ड एक्सेस. इट अलाउज द यूजर्स एन ईजी अप्रोच टू रिट्रीव डाटा फ्रॉम द सिस्टम्स विच मे बी यूज्ड इन डिस्ट्रक्टिव वर्क. तो बहुत बार ये सारा जो चीज़ होता है, ये क्योंकि हर बार लोग मतलब नहीं अवेयर रह सकते, कोई भी डाटा इधर से उधर गया, एक मैसेज या एक लिंक पे क्लिक करने के बाद भी आजकल तो बहुत बार ऐसा भी होता है दैट दे आर एट दैट टाइम ऑल्सो लाइक मैसेजेस और OTPs और एनी काइंड ऑफ पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन माइट गो टू दैट पर्टिकुलर हैकर, और एक इन्फॉर्मेशन काफ़ी है. तो ये जो पूरा जो अनऑथराइज्ड एक्सेस होता है, ये सब जो है, ये भी रीज़न है फॉर साइबर क्राइमिंग, कि ये जो कंपाइल करके जो लोगों को ज़्यादा ढूंढना नहीं पड़ता है और एक ही जगह पे उनको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाता है, वहीं कभी कभार बहुत इजीली मिल जाता है. तो ये जो प्रोसेस है या किसी भी डाटा को खोजने का, बेसिकली यही सारा रीज़न है साइबर क्राइमिंग का. तो क्या होता है कि कंप्यूटर जो है वो वर्क करता है एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में, और इसमें मिलियंस ऑफ कोड्स रहता है. अभी ह्यूमन ब्रेन का टेंडेंसी होता है दैट बहुत बार गलती हो जाता है, और जो हैकर्स है वो इसी गलती को पकड़ लेते हैं एंड देन दे यूज़ इट फॉर देयर ओन पर्पस. तो ये जो इंटायर सिस्टम है जहाँ पे वो लैप्सेस का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, ये भी एक रीज़न है. तो काइंड ऑफ ये बहुत उनके लिए काफ़ी ईजी काइंड ऑफ वर्क हो जाता है कि जब भी कोई गलती करे, थोड़ा सा इन्फॉर्मेशन या कोड बाहर जाए, तो वो बाकी इन्फॉर्मेशन फर्स्ट पॉइंट के हिसाब से या सेकंड पॉइंट के हिसाब से निकाल सकते हैं. इसके बाद negligence is very closely connected with human conduct. If some negligence exists in protecting the computer system, it gives an opportunity for cyber crimming. तो negligence की वजह से भी अगर कोई मान लो उतना ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है या बहुत केयरलेसली यूज़ कर रहा है, तो उसके हिसाब से मतलब साइबर क्राइमिंग हो सकता है. देखो, एक तो ये क्वेश्चन 2 मार्क्स से ज़्यादा का आएगा नहीं, तो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर 4 पॉइंट्स. ठीक है, बट स्टिल एक पॉइंट एक्स्ट्रा मतलब याद कर लो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर ज़्यादा आ गया तो. वैसे तो इस क्वेश्चन से लाइक इससे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन आने का चांसेस नहीं है, नहीं आना चाहिए, बट इफ इट इज़ फॉर योर यूनिट टेस्ट और समथिंग. इट प्रिवेंशन ऑफ साइबर क्राइम. तो कैसे यू कैन प्रिवेंट साइबर क्राइमिंग फ्रॉम हैपनिंग इट विथ यू. तो प्रिवेंट साइबर स्टॉकिंग एंड अवॉइड डिस्क्लोजिंग इन इन्फॉर्मेशन पर्टेनिंग टू वन सेल्फ. यानी कि कोई भी इन्फॉर्मेशन बेसिकली नहीं देना चाहिए. बेसिकली पूरे इस चैप्टर में एक ही चीज़ है, पूरे समरी अगर हम बता दें कि अपनी इन्फॉर्मेशन को शेयर मत करो किसी से, दैट इज़ द थिंग. तो वो चाहे साइबर क्राइमिंग हो या फिर वो पायरेसी रिलेटेड अलग हो जाता है. देन कि पायरेसी ऑब्वियसली तुमको शेयर करना ही पड़ेगा. नाउ इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द अदर पर्सन कि वो ऐसा ना करे. ठीक है, नाउ अवॉइड सेंडिंग एनी फोटोग्राफ्स ऑनलाइन पर्टिकुलरली टू स्ट्रेंजर्स एंड चैट फ्रेंड्स. देयर हैव बीन इंसिडेंट्स वेयर पर्सनल फोटोग्राफ्स हैव बीन मिसयूज्ड बाय साइबर क्राइम्स. So this is also a concern regarding cyber criming. Then the act enables use the latest and updated antivirus software to protect to protect against any kind of attack. Keep backup of your data. That is why backups are important, so that you may not suffer any kind of loss or in case of any kind of virus contamination. Web servers running public sites should be separated and protected files and internal cooperated networks वगैरह वगैरह. तो बेसिकली गार्ड करना और क्रेडिट कार्ड नंबर्स वगैरह को ऐसे नहीं लाइक किसी को भी बताना. तो ये सारा चीज़ जो है फ्रॉड से बचने में मदद करता है. अब आते हैं लास्ट पॉइंट, दैट इज वेब सर्वर्स रनिंग पब्लिक साइट शुड बी सेपरेटेड एंड प्रोटेक्टेड फ्रॉम द इंटरनल कॉर्पोरेट नेटवर्क. यानी कि कोई सा भी वेब सर्वर जो कि पब्लिक साइट्स में लाइक रन कर रहा है, इसको सेपरेट कर देना चाहिए एंड प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए फ्रॉम द इंटरनल कॉर्पोरेट नेटवर्क. दैट इज बेसिकली अपने पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन को पब्लिकली शो करना, लाइक इट्स नॉट वेरी गुड एंड इट शुड बी सेपरेटेड एंड प्रोटेक्टेड फ्रॉम एनी काइंड ऑफ इंटरनल कॉर्पोरेट नेटवर्क. नाउ लेट अस कम टू साइबर लॉज. So basically there were some group of laws formed in 2000 and according to the cyber law regime in the year 2000, and India became the 21st nation to be a part of this, basically to prevent people from getting into cyber crimes or to save their personal information. So both the houses passed it on May 2000, and it was officially signed by the president on the basically August of 2000. In August of 2000, and we know that any act that is passed by both the houses should be signed by the president before it is officially legalized or basically spread. Advantages of cyber laws. So there are certain advantages of cyber laws. For example, I have already marked like the IT Act 2000, which attempts to basically outdated laws को हटाना and then provide करवाना एक basically कुछ ऐसे methods provide करवाना या awareness फैलाना जिससे cyber crimes को रोका जा सके. The basic idea of this law is to bring the people on common platform, and it also does the work of bringing people to a common platform so that they can communicate or use the internet for different purposes safely without the fear of cyber crime. The Act offers a much needed legal framework so that the information is not denied inviolability solely on the ground that it is in the form of electronic records. So basically there are certain information, so everything could be like given or suppose e-governance only. तो जो government है वो ऐसे informations को website के through use कर सकता है, भेज सकता है, websites के through उसको official कर सकता है इसी की मदद से without the fear of somebody leaking that message or somebody using that particular data for a wrong purpose. तो इसी वजह से काइंड ऑफ ये साइबर लॉ एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दिया लोगों को, स्पेशली ई गवर्नेंस के मैटर पे, या फिर जो लोग बिजनेस वगैरह करते हैं उन लोगों को, ताकि वो ई कॉमर्स को और ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथन कर सके, या फिर बिजनेस पीपल द पर्सन्स हु बेसिकली सेंड ईमेल्स टू ईच अदर. तो वो जो ईमेल्स था उसमें भी जो थ्रेड था वायरसेस वगैरह का, टू डिक्रीज दैट एंड ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग वी आर डन बाय द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोवाइडेड बाय द साइबर लॉ इन 2000. Then so there are different like points, and I have just shortened it and said it to you. You can read and go through it. Most importantly among these points is the allowance of electronic or digital signatures. Means people can sign and can send it. That is also legally allowed or validated nowadays in according to this act. Then it also enables companies to basically use files and other form of application online electrically, and such electronic form as may be prescribed by the appropriate government. See, these all kind of points are not very important when we talk about annual examinations if this is in your syllabus, because personally in my annual examination where this chapter was in syllabus, only 2 questions I remember came, one in the form of MCQ related to software piracy and second related to spam in the like 2 marks question answers. So basically the definitions are important, not everything and every points are important. Mainly you may remember 4 points to 5 points in case if that comes in examination, but not more than that. Then like as far as exams are concerned, then like hacking. So hacking is a term like we all are aware about. Hacking is basically the attempt to exploit a computer system. It mainly involves the unauthorized access. That means any person who is not authorized basically enters and tries to steal personal information or data through a computer for purposes which may be threatening for the victim whose computer system is being hacked. So there are different reasons for the people hacking. There might be some people taking revenge from someone, or maybe to take revenge from your rival company, or to destroy your rival company by taking away them or anything like that. So for that purposes also hacking are used. And hacking like the people who knows hacking are very like those people who knows about this computer software who knows computer software very well and are intellectuals, but then their work is not social friendly. So there are different reasons for hacking, like theft of services. So it may challenge to avail the services provided by the system without being acknowledged. So it may without even the other person knowing who is trying to take away the data or something. Actually the other person, that is suppose A is trying to hack the computer system of B. Both are different companies, competitors kind of. So A, if he or she tries to destroy company B,